Nobody can scream, nobody can
No.
cheer. It was very interesting.
No, you were like a headliner, and I was completely
Amazing.
surprised. What was it?
All right. We are outside. I'm so excited to do this interview. Let me in.
Are you feeling
Let
it?
me in.
Hello everyone. Today we will spend with a Singaporean rapper with a unique style. And my personal best recent discovery in the music, FARIZ JABBA.
Wow.
Hello,
I'm so
FARIZ.
flattered. Wow.
Thanks for
Hi.
joining us today. How are you
No
today?
problem. No problem.
Good.
Today, to be honest, I'm a little bit rushed. My mind's like racing. I just came from a haircut. I have a shoot like later after this, and constantly chasing for time. But today, I feel productive, and I think that's good. Usually, I think a lot of people during the pandemic days felt like being busy. They kind of miss being busy. So I miss this feeling, and I think it's good that I'm busy.
I will try to make our interview as comfortable as I can for you today, so you can relax a little bit and just enjoy the conversation. Let's do that.
Thank you so much.
Your music is recognizable through its bilingual rap verses. So why do you use two languages? What are your roots?
I am, by ethnicity, I'm Malay. Yeah, I speak Malay, but the thing is, like, I would consider my first language to be English, because I live in Singapore and like predominantly we're the minority race, so we use English definitely to as the main language. And I feel like as I got older, I found myself a little bit more rooted towards my history or my ethnicity or my culture. I think just generally because I'm not sure. I think I just want to connect to my people a little bit more. At the same time, I'm also half Malaysian. I'm also talking to Malaysia in my music a lot. And yeah, I think in general, as I got older, I meet more Malay friends in Singapore, and I just want to speak to the people who have their first language as Malay. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's why I use both.
And I personally think it's like it's really add a cool vibe to the song. It's very vibrant. So if you use two languages, it's very cool. Yeah, and people actually, the one who are your fans or like want to dig into that, they might be willing to actually understand.
Yeah, and
what does it mean?
In a way, it's like a lot of people are introduced to hip hop in Malaysia, for example. Like, I mean, it has been around for a while, but the thing is, like, I see myself as somebody who, brings in some sort of like example. So if you think about it, like I use simple lyrics for English and Malay, so that I can introduce both sides. So I can show it to my my non-Malay friend, and he can understand some of the Malay words. At the same time, the Malaysians can understand some of the English words. So that's why I use both.
FARIZ JABBA. I guess it's probably half nickname, half your real name. So tell us what inspired you to take this artist name?
Well, my real name is FARIZ. My FARIZ Rashid. So Rashid is my dad's name. Like we Malays do it like that. Like our name, first name first, and then followed by our dad's name. But the thing is, I chose Jabba because when I was a kid, or still now even, I love this dance group called the Jabberwockies. So to me, like, they revolutionized like pop dance groups back in the day in 2011, 2010, and it was cool to have a crew. It's cool to have a hip hop crew and everything.
Absolutely.
So I was in my secondary school, like constantly the big mirror area, and I would just be doing like random choreographies and stuff like that. I would like get people to dance with me. I would start dance crews and stuff, and then it just became a thing. Like people call me Jabba because I love Jabberwocky so much. Then the name just stuck. I put it on my Facebook name, and now it's just perpetual. FARIZ JABBA.
Cool. It sounds cool. Come on, great job.
Thank you. My dad actually thought that I picked a strong Arabic name. He said that Jabbar means strength or power in Arabic. So he was so happy. He was like, "Wow, you chose such a powerful name. Wow!" Just now I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, it's actually Jabberwockies."
Let's say that I'm so clever, right?
Yeah. I was gonna let him have it, but I was like, "Nah, don't be too proud of me. It's the Jabberwockies."
Oh, but it's cool. Very cool coincidence, actually. And how there is expression, how you name yourself, that's how your career develops and something like that, right? So you have a good definitely courage to do that. About your style, unique style, which I found personally really unique. Because you can rap, and that's what we all expect from rappers, but you can also sing. And what the most impressed me when I saw you on stage last year, that you can dance. So how come you decided to combine all of these elements in your performances? And do you kind of do you present yourself only as a rapper, or how do you feel?
I think in general, and when I say general, it's within my proximity, like Singaporeans, Malaysians, or the people who are used to my music. They would probably consider me as a rapper, and the reason behind that is because I entered the game or entered the industry as a rapper, and that's where I gained my fame or my popularity in a sense. So I think in general, people will consider me as a rapper, but for me, I actually, somebody has asked me before, like what are you? So what are you then? So I would say I'm a Singaporean artist. Like that's what I am. Like basic. That's just if you think about it, Singaporean artist is there's layers to that, because if Singaporean artist means that by culture I'm Singaporean, and the reason why I speak like this, why I'm like 50% like city boy, 50% like village boy, is because of my cultural roots and the fact that I like to mash all the things together. Like I would see my artistry as like a prism of my head, and I don't want to put myself into categories and box myself like that. And I think that's how artists generally plateau with their creativity and their thinking, right? So I started out dancing when I was young, and as I got older, hip hop was always in my life. So I started getting more vocabulary, of course, at 15 and 16, and started writing my own raps. And then it got serious, and singing was always, hand in hand with rap, it's always like singing hooks and rap. So I was the kind of guy that like wanted to do it all. I just wanted to do it all. And I wasn't very good in all three, to be honest. So I took my time, and in the different phases of my life, I obsessed myself, and I put myself through like a boot camp just to see how far I can go. So I think I started when I was dancing, and then I went to a point where I was like, okay, I'm good enough to a point where I'm like, I feel that I enjoy doing it now. It doesn't feel like a effort or like oh, I gotta learn more. I can just freestyle now. I can just dance. Like it feels good. And then it went to rap. So rap, it's a little bit tougher, right? Because there's rhyme schemes, there's double entendres, there's double meanings and stuff like that. So I did my research. So what I did was, at the age of like 15, something like that, I understand that hip hop is not my culture, right? Hip hop is a specifically African American culture. I started from the Bronx and everything. So I went to do my research because it's only right for me to do that. I went back. I went all the way back to Big Daddy Kane. I went back all the way to Ice Cube, NWA, and understood from the 80s, the Def Jam era, Beastie Boys and everything. And then I went, consequently to the 90s, and I understood about the Baking Park and how that revolutionized the hip hop world. And then 2000s, when all the rappers got rich, so they started making party music. That's why you got In the Club by 50 Cent and stuff like that. And then 2010s, when they were like, oh, we're talking about partying too much. Okay, we need to go back to conscious rap. And then Kendrick came in, J. Cole came in. So I studied rap. And then I think rap is dense, so dense in itself that I got obsessed with it. And then I wanted to be the best in Singapore. And I wanted to make a mark, so that's what I was planning to do. And with singing is actually a completely different aspect. Singing to me is a medium of how you express your emotions, like your soft emotions, like I feel, So I have this guy, I have this mentor / big brother. His name is Zeke Flight School. So he was the one that actually taught me how to record music. He taught me there's a difference between singing live and singing on the microphone, singing, recording and stuff like that. So, and then he taught me the ropes of how do you talk to people in the industry, because I'm a reckless, rude boy from 16 years old, brash, and like, I know I don't care about nobody, but like, I'm so glad there are people in my life like him and my big brother, who's a comedian, Fakafaz, who taught me how to talk to people and how to maneuver around the game. So yeah, that's basically it, dance, rap, sing, and I just wanted to mash everything together. I think till this day, nobody knows what I do properly, but I kind of like that, Wouldn't it be? I feel like it's like, oh, what is he gonna do now, And also, I look at myself as a developing artist. I don't look at myself as somebody who is like, oh yeah, I know what I want, and I'm like, all right, I already did so many things. Fact is, I don't even have an album out. There's only singles out at this point, and the fact that like people are already reacting and giving me the support at this point in my life, in this new venture in my life, it's amazing, And I can't ask for more. Honestly, all I gotta do is work hard, and
do your best.
You gotta do that every day. Yeah.
But I think it's actually a very smart approach to kind of define yourself as an artist, because you're not limited yourself in a way, right? So you can, if you kind of decide to go in a totally different direction, you're free to do that. And frankly, to my personal opinion, I think that nowadays is everything what is kind of super interesting, super like fresh, is something which is a collab of everything, or mashup. That's the
that's
best
true.
way.
I think music right now is like genreless,
Yeah.
I mean, if you heard Igor, Tyler the Creator's album, it's just experimental music, and it got #1. So I think in this day and age, like we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't stick to data. We shouldn't stick to like, oh, Fariz, you should do this because this works more. Blah blah blah. It's like, so what? So what if it doesn't work? As long as my fans know it's authentic for me, and in this phase of my life, I wanted to be this person. Like, can you blame Pharrell for stopping music for a while and doing fashion? No, right? He's just being an artist. So I think that's the most important thing when it comes to categorizing ourselves. Like, if somebody were to say like, I am a rapper, 100%, cool. That's totally fine, But like they chose something and they stuck with it and they love it. But I'm pretty sure they're not just a rapper, and I'm pretty sure they're turning a blind eye to a lot of untapped potential in any other mediums of expression.
It's cool that you mentioned fashion, because that's what I was also curious about, your style itself. Now we can see that you're very, very colorful. So
colorful.
Very cool color. Is it green or blue or something in between?
It was blue, and then because I a couple of washes, went to the swimming pool, chlorine water, it's probably just like wiped out the color.
Natural blue now. Okay, but I was wondering, is it like it's like the way to express yourself, or you use any stylist who help you to like?
Well, I think it's the style is constantly evolving. I never really cared about how I look. Only when I started like doing things professionally. Only when I started going up on stage, and I realized that, hey man, like I kind of want to dress up a little bit better, but I just don't have the style eye. I think that's what people call it. And as I got older, I think my style just mirrored my age, So when I was young, you see me wearing a backpack, you see me wearing shorts, you see me wearing sneakers, you see me wearing hoodies and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I wanted to be a little bit more experimental. And then I realized by watching people like Pharrell, watching people like old fashion icons like Cameron, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, all these people, they just bend the norm of like what you could wear. And then I realized something. I said, hey, our body is a canvas, right? We can do whatever we want. And if I feel orange, I want to dye my hair orange. If I feel blue, I want to dye my hair blue. And it's not about what you think, it's about what I feel and how I look at myself and what my perceived value is. And that's why I do my nails. That's why I care about the thread that I put on, because it's kind of like my super suit. If I put this on, even if it's a bad day, but I feel showered, I feel clean, I feel well kept, I got clean shoes on, clean underwear on, a nice haircut. Even if it's a bad day, I feel fresh. And that's way more important than anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know.
So the style just evolves, I guess. At this point, of my style I think I'm starting to like cute stuff a little less. Last time I used to like the pearls, I used to like flowers, I used to like bright colors and stuff like that. But now I see myself just wearing like Steve Jobs jeans, clean. And I think because I just turned 25, and like I find myself liking things that are like, just a little bit more simple. I don't know, man. Just simple, clean, to the point, straight to the point. Yeah, so as I'm saying, like the style just keeps evolving through time.
Now, I was just going to comment a little bit that your black sweater, or what is that? Is very cool, kind of basic for your hair, so it looks even brighter. It's very cool, very kind of
exactly
stylish.
Wow,
not too much.
It's cool that you notice. It's cool that you notice that, because like my nails are colored, my hair is colored, my shoes are colored, but just like I keep it simple. And like these things you learn, these things you learn like along the way.
The style in action,
That's right.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing your kind of journey in fashion. Now I would like to talk a bit about your career, how it developed, because that's what I found, that you started like thanks to social media. And you took some freestyle rap contest and you put it in Instagram and other social media. You did some remixes, and then you started to be noticed by the powerful people in the industry. So I'm just wondering, what do you think about the social media as a tool for new artists? And do you think you would become a musician if you don't have the social platform? How would you continue to do music?
Interesting, because that's an interesting question, and the reason behind that is because I started just because of Twitter and Instagram, right? So without Twitter and Instagram, I think in general, because over here in Singapore at that period of time, there weren't easy gateways to enter the scene, and it wasn't like as if it was open arms. Hey, please come to the show. Hey, please do this open mic or whatever. Or at least at that time, for a youngin like me at that time, like 16, 17, obviously you can't go to clubs, you can't go to bars or whatever to do all these shows and expose yourself to all these people, right? So I guess because of social media, the the age where somebody becomes good at something and also at the same time, the amount of exposure that you get for somebody younger is much higher. And because there's information at the palm of your hand, so a lot of people say that this is the age of information, but I think we are past the age of information. We're actually at the age of curation, because everybody is technically a cyborg. You have your phone. You know every single piece of information ever on the internet. So, like, it's a matter of what you do to curate it, right? And I think social media is a gift and a curse because, obviously you do have people that improve on their skill set and, their trajectory is exponential. And I'm a great example of that. But at the same time, you do have like the dark side of it where you see 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds and even 11-year-olds like giving a damn about how they look, which they should just they don't have to, because they should just continue being a kid, like it's not that serious. But because of TikTok and because of especially like comparison with how they should be on the internet, or what their humor should be, of how they should carry themselves, what words they should use, what songs they should like. And nobody's telling them that this is what they should listen to, but kids want to feel included, right? So that's why you see all these kids wearing Vans, and all these kids wearing all this fashion stuff, but they have no idea where it comes from, like. So that's the dark side. We do have a higher concentration of kids that have in these physical or material insecurities, and that is the dark side. But if you are somebody who keeps that at bay, if you are somebody who have people around you to remind you that your value is bigger than the internet, which I and my best friend Young Raja have the privilege to have the people around us to tell us that. And I think that's the most important part, and that's the answer to how I feel social media could be a great tool. At the same time, the secret is you need a support system to remind you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very clever. It's both sides, and you need to be like clever to balance or guide it maybe. Is it any like platform in Singapore for the newbies musicians, like 16 Berries? I heard it's quite cool for hip hoppers, or is it already? It's not for new people.
So there's a lot of underground echo channels. I mean, I honestly I have a couple of friends that do it. I can name a couple of the top. Like there's this rap show. I think it's a competition actually. But it's a bit. It's not really a rap battle. I think they were trying to do it more like rhythm and poetry in a sense. I don't think it's getting enough, support or it's not echoed enough. But I think they're doing pretty well because, like, they got other veterans in the scene like Sheikh Haikal, Shahid, you got Rauzan, you got Fox, the producer. You got all these people coming together to judge the show, and like you got new kids like from every race coming in to like submit their songs and compete. And you have echo channels like there's this new one called Control by None. It's like very, just imagine like the colors on YouTube where they do the spotlight for an artist and then they do their song, and every single set is different and a different color or a different style. So there are definitely a lot of YouTube channels. There are a lot of platforms that do showcase these new artists, but definitely it just needs a little bit more. I think people just gotta toughen this time out, because it's gonna be like the shows are gonna come back. The shows are definitely gonna come back. So everybody's just gotta constantly curate, create, and stand this and withstand the test of time. Or if they don't, then they're not going to enjoy, being within the shows with experience, you know? So there are a lot, but, you know, it's just whether you can control or whether you can resist the test of time. It's going to be tough for somebody who's like, can you be a rapper but be broke for 3 years? Because that's just the way Singapore works. You know, we don't receive that much love for rap or hip hop, you know? But if you can do that, then there's a chance for you. If you can stay hungry for many, many years, knowing that like you need to take this time to know how to not just know how to rap, but know how to stand on stage, know how to talk to people in the industry, the powerful people in the industry, maneuver around the game, change your style, constantly set trends, and be consistent at the same time, but also have a message to say. If you could be all these things, then you have a chance to be somebody great in Singapore, I feel.
Okay, cool. And now I would like to talk about your music actually itself, because your first single, Apasia, and your last release, Kala, they gained a lot of views on YouTube, like over a million. That's a great result. Congratulations, really impressive. Like
Thank
as
you
you
so
said,
much.
if it's Singaporean hip hop industry so small, then it's outstanding results. But what I want to discuss with you, and we discussed it actually a little bit before, because they're very different. It's super different.
Buka seluar when I'm in the car. Siang malam dia tunggu, tengah malam jadi hantu. Kalau malas aku bantu, datang rumah tutup lampu. Tutup lampu semua gelap, aku dapat korang pun nak.
The first one is like really serious, like classic rap track.
Yeah.
And the last one is a bit pranky, saying fun, like, So my question to you is like, again, which you partly already answer, like, is it developing of your style, or is like, why is so huge tune in a performance?
And the reason is because there's a language barrier, right? A lot of people who don't understand Malay would see the difference between the two. But for a Malay person who understands rap, they will understand that the two are one and the same. And because of the first one, right, it's called Apasia. So Apasia is a term or a phrase that we always use if we are saying something rhetorical, like what is that? Like, yo, why would you do that? Something like that. Like, you know, like WTF, like why? But that's our thing, like Apasia. So it looks serious, but the raps and the lyrics are satirical. So I talk about, you know, like, I eat 2 packets of Maggi Mee because I'm broke. I slide into the bus because I have no money for my bus fare. My mom blue-ticked me because I didn't reply her, but now I go home and then she's gonna whack me and stuff like that. So it's all satirical. It's like based on me as a teenager, like the woes of a teenage boy. And it's nothing serious, to be honest. It sounds like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. But nah, none of that. So I've always liked the idea of understanding and contextually telling you what kind of rapper I am. Like, I've always liked rappers like Lil Dicky. I've always liked rappers like Slim Shady, but not Eminem when he got serious, but when he was funny. And the reason why I like that is because I feel that Singaporeans are generally goofy guys. We're just goofy people. We're funny. We have funny accents, and it's just who we are. And I think we should just stick to the fact that we are like that. And I think that's the adorable part. So my job is to marry cool, at the same time give you what you are used to, which is comedy, because that's who I am. I'm not a hard ass like, yo man, I'm gonna kill you. I live pretty alright over here. Things are safe over here. I love my friends over here. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't, you know, my troubles are different. You know, my troubles is what I choose to talk about later. You know, everybody got troubles, but the thing is, I could use rap to unite people by using satire, by using funny punchlines, and that, to me, that's always been in rap. Funny punchlines have always been in rap. So I just use this opportunity, or use this platform to, you know, make like a 10-year-old rap. I want to make a 10-year-old rap at the same time. The song is hard enough for a 21-year-olds to want to rap about it. So like I'm trying to marry the two. So for Abasia, the formula was pretty much the same for the next one as well. And yeah, again, like for the second one, I was doing more than just doing satire. I was actually introducing a sound that a lot of people haven't heard in Singapore. Like if you hear it, it's like a grime flow. It's like a grime UK flow, and like the style and the cadence of raps are very different from what they are used to in Malaysia or in Singapore. So that's what me and my friend did, Omar. We wanted to add a little bit of elements. So if you realize, every single point of my career, I'm introducing something that I feel that people don't pay attention enough to. So
you highlighted it in a way.
I highlight it. So like in Apasia, like I give you what you want, but at the same time I put a little bit of satire. Oh, that's very interesting, like a very Singaporean satire style. And then I did like R&B stuff because I realized there's no dancing R&B guy in Singapore, so I'm like, I'm gonna be the guy. But then so on and so forth. Every single video or song has a certain message behind it, even though it's not said in the music, it's not said in interviews, but as long as I know and you know. You know what I mean? It's just a thing,
Oh, thank you so much. It was a really nice explanation, actually, and for your international fans, it would be great to actually get this, to understand what are your thoughts behind the music. Great. But I would like also to ask you about like your solo releases, like Dari Senior. When you create the music, I obviously understood now that you have a message which you want to say and you have a lot of, but you is it a long process for you, or you just created it like naturally, how you are as a creator?
I'm not sure. So Olga, are you a writer? Would you consider yourself a writer as well?
I would say no. I'm actually more like a person who expert, I would say. I'm dig into things and I try to understand it, because I frankly not consider myself as a creator. That's why I want to support the talented. I admire talented people, Really.
No, but the thing is, sometimes you do things for research, and sometimes you do it because you want to. Correct? Sometimes you do it because you know it's good for you, but at the same time, sometimes you do it because it's like guilty pleasure. So a lot of the times that I maneuver in the music industry, I balance between the two. Sometimes I do things that I know is good for the general public or the general brand or whatever, but at the same time, there are moments where I do release things that are just me. That is my problem to face, or my challenge to overcome, understanding and balancing that too. Like, because a mainstream artist definitely have to cater to certain things, right? But what I do is, like, I would create specific schedules or styles of writing to know whether this is for y'all or is this for me. So if I sit in a studio and I hear some, like I have this like meter, it's like, okay, I know this is for y'all. Then I will write for y'all. Then I will write according to what you probably want to hear. Sometimes you just want to make music. It doesn't have to mean, sometimes you hear all these like, let me love you, let me be the one to, like that's not super deep lyrics, but it's like mainstream, or it's for everybody to sing. And that's the difference. Like I measure it like that. Is this song for all of us to sing together, or is this song for you to remember my lyrics and understand my message? So every time I go into the studio, I always try back and forth between the two. Like, what are we gonna do today? Let's make a song for everybody. Or what are we gonna do today? You know what? I want to spit some stuff, man. I got something to say. Then it just balances between that.
One thing I want to ask is about like Asian hip hop community, because it's very unique to my taste, at least what I know. And how do you feel? How you connected with the rest of the world? Like, are you connected, or you are like quite distant, or?
You mean the Asian community, the Asian hip hop community?
Asian hip hop community, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you are like also separated within the Asia as well.
To be honest, like I'm pretty, yeah. I would say that like I'm pretty Singaporean Malaysian at this current point in time, but I do have like real strong connections, or like I want to connect with other countries like Thailand. I feel like Thailand is very, very forward thinking in the hip hop community, and in Korea, and of course Japan. I just like that. Those are definitely the goals, you know. And I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. Like, oh yeah, let's go to the US market, or like let's be a success in Malaysia and just stay there. Nah, I want to, like, the fact that you interviewing me right now is a great sign. Like, this is the exactly the kind of influence I want. And it's like, instead of me catering or like being an artist that fits the role or the template of their artistry, for example, like, I don't have to look like a Lil Pump or talk like a Lil Pump to perform next to Lil Pump. I want to bring my Singaporean flavor everywhere, because that's basically the kind of difference that we have, you know. So yeah, I definitely want to be connected with the Singapore or the Asian hip hop community a little bit more, and I think I have a lot to offer in that sense also, because, you know, they can't do what I can do, and I can't do what they can do, and we have a lot to learn from each other. So, and I've never even been to Europe. I never even been to Japan. I never even been to Korea, like in general, not even to travel. So, to be honest, I've never even left Southeast Asia. You know, I've always been in Malaysia. I've always been in Indonesia, and Thailand, and Indonesia, like all these, just 4 countries. So I have so much to know and so much to learn. And I'm just 25, you know, and all that I know is contextually and just culturally here in Singapore. So to answer your question, that is definitely something you want to check back with me in 5 years.
Oh, great. That was my last question, but you already answered it. So great. But do you have some names in your head? Who would you like to collab with, or you look up to? I'm just curious. Who is inspiring you? Yeah, like some names.
To be honest, you know, when they say like don't meet your heroes, you know, like you will be disappointed. Like I probably wouldn't want to meet Chris Brown, because, you know, I probably wouldn't want to meet like Drake or Frank Ocean. Like the idea of it is enough for me, you know, like the fact that like, oh, okay, I don't want things to disappoint me. Plus, you know why I say that? Because they might not vibe with me, and I might not vibe with them, you know. So to answer your question, that also you gotta check in with me in a few years' time or in the future. Because, right, if I go to LA, if I go to US, or if I go to Thailand, I can say whoever I want to collab with. But if we sit in the same room together, in the same studio together, and we just don't click, we just don't vibe, our inside jokes are different, and like the way we speak is just different, and like we just probably can't do it, right?
I understand what you mean.
I could say, yeah. I could say I want a song with Frank Ocean, but what if Frank Ocean doesn't like my face? And I'm like, oh man, I can't do anything at this point.
So if I understand that correct, so for you, it's very important to have to have the same vibe with the person, personal connection with them before you actually do the music. And
yes, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do.
That's the perfect to my next question to you, and probably the last one, because, you know, for example, in the Norwegian hip hop community, we also don't have big community, but they are quite recognized. And the most interesting fact about that all the kind of the worldwide successful projects, it's a duo project. It's 2 people. It's like Madcon, Carpe Diem, maybe Madcon, and probably no. So they actually 2 people, 2 rappers in the band, and they were were exposed to the world. So I would like to ask you about you and Jan Raja. You as well-known great friends. So what is that in this
Great question.
hip hop brotherhood? What is this nature of that?
Wow. To be honest, it's like push and pull. You know, I think we see it from the start, like from hip hop. Like there's so many duos, so many. Like even the ones the Asian sharks, Joe and Malik, Too Fat. They are the ones that brought in Malay hip hop into this archipelago, like in Malaysia and in Singapore. And for me and Raja, we started together. He's my best friend, you know. And like I'm not sure too. Maybe it's something in the air of hip hop. Maybe it's just meant for duos or whatsoever. Like I don't even know. You know, you got duos like Eric B and Rakim, like Ray Sherman and all these guys. And like there's me and Raja, right? So you know, I think for me and him, it's a divine union. You know, like I am his yin and he's my yang. You know, like or vice versa. Like I'm the skeptic, he's the opportunist, or he's the you know, the guy who's positive all the time, but I'm always questioning things. You know, like we have that marriage of that. And like to be honest, this is a fun fact. His birthday is 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day apart from mine.
Oh.
So it's
Wow.
December 14, 1995. I'm December 13, 1996. So you know, like he goes to like numerologists and astrologists, and then they will be saying like, yeah, they'll be saying it's a sign, and you guys are soulmates and stuff. Like, oh, Fariz, you have these weaknesses about you, but like Raja has them as strengths. So you go to him and ask him for help, blah blah blah. And it's been working all the way. So I mean, like, so for me and him specifically, you know, it's more of a best friend thing rather than like a hey man, let's work together type thing. It's not like that. It's like we both want to be successful. We both want to set trends and hit waves in Singapore and be the biggest legends that we've ever seen here. So we both have the same goal in mind, and that's why we're not a duo. And the reason why we're not a duo is because we both got to set out and do our own things first and then come back. Because if we start together, you know, favorism, jealousy, blah, 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 we foresee that, right? And that's why we wanted to separate ways. But at the same time, we're best friends still.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, it's only time. And it's only time for us to come back.
Yeah, definitely.
Together.
And I think you're definitely on the way, definitely on the right path to be like a significant Singaporean kind of export or something. And just the last question to kind of wrap up our thing.
Sure.
What is your... It's a bit pathos, but you cannot, if you don't want, you don't need to make a serious answer. What is your dream? Like, what is your dream in life?
Okay, I always have this dream, like a specific dream. It's not about career. It's not about like money or whatever. My dream is that my entire family could stay in the same house. Stay in the same house. I want to pay off every single one of my parents' debts or my sister's debts, or I want to make sure that my nieces and nephews are set for their education, and like I want everybody to have the best healthcare. Like that's it. That to me personally, that's my personal dream. If you want to talk about my career dream, like the ceiling, there's no ceiling. I don't know where I'm gonna be in a year. I don't even remember what I did last year, but I know that I have grown at least 3 times, like character wise, you know what I mean? So my dream for my career is, like, I know it sounds like a PR answer, but I want Singapore music to be like out there properly and respected properly as like one of the leading, not just Asian, but as a worldwide force, you know? Oh. So that's my dream. And I think we're on our way. We are on our way. Just give us like a couple more years. We good. Yes. We good. We'll work hard. and we'll make sure that we'll make us proud, like definitely.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
That's a great word, and I actually, what I see from today's interview, you are definitely on the right path, and you have everything what is needed to reach your goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you so much
for this, for your time, for your super clever and like fulfilling answers. I'm very happy that our audience will get to know such a great musician, which definitely need to put an eye on. And good luck in your dreams.
Thank you. Thank you.